If you want to unlock the best version of yourself as a catcher, then you need to understand this one concept that comes straight from the Bible. Guys, I know a lot of you want to become the starting guy. You want to have a little bit of your name in the lights, and you want to have the blocking, throwing, and receiving, but you need to understand that those are just all vanity things within our position. Okay. Yes, they help us serve our team. Yes, they help us get the job done. But this concept I'm about to give you is something that you're probably not going to know how to apply, something that you might not even continue to listen to this video and put in a real practice. But it comes directly from Matthew 20, verse 28. And it's very simple. It says, "For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others, and to give his life as a ransom for many." So when we always constantly look at what did Jesus do while he was on this earth, because he gave us the keys for how we should be living. We're never going to be perfect like him, but he modeled it for us. A lot of people back in this time and still think that Jesus, the Messiah, should have came as someone who is going to rule, who is going to take over and conquer. And he did that spiritually, but on earth, that's not what it looked like. It says, "For even the Son of Man came not to be served." He didn't come to be served like some sort of king that we would know. And then on the back end, it says, "But to serve others and give his life as a ransom for many." Jesus came to serve, guys. He came to serve. And if you know anything about what he did on the cross, you know that that served everyone and our salvation more than anyone could ever do, or more than anything else could ever matter. Now, how does this apply to you guys? Well, if we're truly a Christian athlete who follows Christ and we're going to follow him in everything we do in life, that needs to also mean we follow everything he did and do that on the baseball field. There's no separation where baseball field's the one, place that we just don't apply the things that we know about Christ. If anything, the baseball field's going to be a magnifying glass and expose those things about us that we aren't doing outside of, in our regular lives. So, biggest concept you can understand today is that you need to serve your team. You need to serve your team without expecting anything back. If you didn't know that catching is the one position where you are forced to serve. And if you don't want to do that, people are going to tell from a mile away that you're selfish. And guys, I only served my teammates when I was a starter at all the schools I was at, even in pro ball, mostly because I knew it was part of the position and I knew it would make me good, but I didn't do it like out of my heart. I wasn't looking to ask my pitchers like, "Hey, do you need a bullpen today? Do you need a flat ground? How can I serve you?" That needs to be our mindset. Because again, if you have the blocking, throwing, receiving, and you feel like you're getting really good physically, I love that. You need to be able to do that because that actually allows you to serve your team as well. You can't serve your team and help them win and be the best version of themselves, each individually, like your teammates, if you can't throw runners out and help get out of an inning, if you can't block the ball. So the biggest thing I'm trying to say is there's physical serving, and then there's like this actual leadership, spiritual serving that I want you to apply that we see from Christ. And it's not going to be easy, guys. And it might expose you a little bit. If you're watching this and you're like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Trust me, I was that player. And I beg you, please challenge yourself, work on serving others. Go up to the one pitcher on your team. I know you guys have this guy that no one likes, no one wants to catch, and say, "Hey man, when do you need a bullpen next?" Go serve him. Because what Jesus did in his time is he washed his disciples' feet. The Messiah, the Son of Man, washed his disciples' feet. The disciples were like his teammates, right? They're the people, his students that he was leading. And he washed their feet. It blows my mind when you think about that. Such a humbly and selfless act that he does for the people who are around him. So I think you're understanding where I'm trying to go with this, where if you serve your teammates, they're going to trust you and look at you as a captain. And then when you're on the field, they're going to look to you when things go wrong. And the best part about our position as catcher is we are in control. So if things go great that game, it's on us. If they don't, it's on us. But you need to have the respect of your team, and that's going to come by serving them. without asking anything in return. They might never serve you. They might never do anything for you. But guess what? That's what Jesus shows us that he even did. Jesus didn't ask for anything back in return. In fact, he paid it all on the cross by being crucified. And I think how you do anything is how you do all things. So if you feel like you're selfish in your day-to-day life, this is going to be really hard for you to do and challenge you. You know, one of the biggest things that I struggled with was at one of my schools, we had to set up the field for practice, and we knew all the time, you know, we had to get like 20 things done, like move the giant turtle, extension cords, like all this big stuff. And it was like me and another catcher and like a couple other kids doing it all. We had 80 kids in our program, and we would do it all. And I used to do it out of spite, just to be like, you know what? I just want to show them how lazy they are, so I'm just going to keep doing it all. Keep doing it all. And that wasn't a good way. I should have just served and shut my mouth and just did it just to serve my teammates, you know. Now, part of being a good leader is maybe, you know, you could say like, hey guys, like we're a team, let's do this together. But how you say that matters. Sometimes I would blow up and say that in a really poor way. Now I definitely lost their respect. So I really do like this verse, Matthew 20:28. For the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others and give his life as a ransom for many. Now, you're not the Messiah. You don't have to give your life as a ransom for many. Jesus already did that. You just have to accept his free gift. But if we're looking at the model that he gave us, it's how can you serve your teammates? How can you serve your team? How can you serve your coach? Because that's what our position is called to do. And I promise you guys, if you do this, if you start inwardly with serving, then all these other things are going to fall in place way easier. We all know what it looks like to be the talented kid on the team, have all the best skills, and that guy's a selfish jerk and no one wants anything to do with him. Doesn't even feel like he's your teammate. It's like a guest celebrity, show. And I just want to say that if you truly are trying to build relationships with each one of your teammates, you are truly trying to serve them all, be that guy who steps up and says, I will do it, it's going to make a lot of the other things way easier for you. You actually aren't going to have to put pressure on yourself for the blocking, throwing, receiving, because your coach is going to see all this stuff and be like, well, he's our captain. You're going to get more leeway. So that is my message for you guys today is how can you serve? How can you serve without expecting anything back? And it's probably the hardest thing in the world to do. And this is coming from a guy who's inherently selfish. You know what I mean? Like on the teams I played with, I would do it just to serve, but so I could get some recognition at the end of the day. Because I knew this was a hack. Like if the coach sees me serving the team, he's going to put me as a starter. So I was only doing it that way. But do it out of the kindness of your heart, guys, and really, really focus on this. It's going to look different for each of you guys. Sometimes it's filling up the water cooler for the team. Sometimes it's getting to practice early, throwing. Sometimes it's just making yourself last. You know, one of my favorite Bible verses as well says the last will be first and the first will be last. Meaning like you got to make yourself last. How can you not be selfish? How can you let everyone go in front of you at the cages? How can you, be patient? Things like that. How can you catch the most bullpens even though you don't want to? Instead of being the guy in the front of the line trying to get his way. And that was always me every single time. And everyone could sniff it out. Everyone always knew I was trying to scheme my way to do that. And I think it lost respect from my teammates. So I don't want that for you. I want you guys to serve your teammates. I want to see you guys flourish in your careers. I want to see all aspects of you be improved. This is probably going to be the biggest challenge is how can you serve? Whether you actually apply this or not is going to be on you. But I would put this in the most high priority you possibly can for your career right now. If you guys need anything, please reach out. But without further ado, God bless. Stay the course.